Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Virgos in mid-May? We are still in Taurus season, moving towards Gemini. It's such a beautiful time of the year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in mid-May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick, my friends. What do we got for the Virgo collective? Cool. This card has been showing up quite a bit, and this could be a really good thing. I saw the exact same thing in the Capricorn reading. Notice all this beautiful Libra imagery showing up. So this must be a theme because this is like the third or fourth time I've seen it this week, which could be good. There's like this nice harmony that I always pick up with this card. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this individual here that's doing a little balancing act. We got the Libra symbolism, little yin yang right on the chest, and this person's like balancing two discs. So it reminds me of the Two of Pentacles. So those of you not familiar with tarot, it's a very similar piece of imagery where someone's just doing a little balancing act with two pentacles. Now, the thing I love about Libra energy, yes, it can represent decision making and choices and judgment and all that kind of stuff. Watch out for any contractual things when I pick up Libra energy. Contracts, paperwork, things that have a lot of fine print. But normally this is a card of balance and harmony. So if you've been going through some tough things, situations, this energy could be things starting to finally balance out, right? And it goes both ways, right? Just like dark, light, up, down, masculine, feminine. There's this nice middle ground that I always pick up with this. If it's a decision or a choice, like this could be making the right move. So I really love it for that. Now, the downside to this card is sometimes it could show up when things are a little out of whack or when things need a bit more balancing or perspective. Sometimes it also shows up if you're busy, or you have a whole bunch on your plate. If you're literally juggling a lot of stuff. So whether it's like in the physical world, emotional world, like if you're doing a lot of juggling, that card could show up. But we're just going to let them chill out right there. We'll take the harmony, right? Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Virgos. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So this is another theme I've been seeing scattered throughout the zodiac. The reading was titled The Surprising Return. So that tells me within last week and even moving forward, because energy can bleed over for the next couple of weeks, there could be a whole variety of things circling back. So whether it's situations that you're familiar with, situations that are reminiscent of things that you've gone through before, even individuals, there's like this energy that could just pop back up and return. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my beautiful Virgo friends in mid-May. What's happening? What is the vibe? Thank you. Cool. 7 of Swords, huh? Okay. That's something to keep an eye on. And I will say this, even regardless of what shows up in the reading, this is still a good sign, because even if we do see some funkiness, that balancing in the front end is actually a good thing. But 7 of Swords is absolutely something we want to keep an eye on as we move through the reading, because there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of unknowns with the card. Okay. And energy is a little wound tight. So in the center, we have the 6 of Cups. Nice. This is I don't want to say it's an emotionally fragile energy, but it could be extremely reminiscent. It could be a lot of looking into the past. And then right here on the back end, we have the 9 of Swords. So very swordsy energy here this week, but that's fine. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that paints a picture for us and it really frames the reading and tells us how things are going to flow. And for Virgo this week, there's a lot of internal energy when we mix the air and the water combination. Whereas like fire and earth, that's like outside circumstances. All of this is within. We're inward facing. Now, when it comes to air, because this is very much air heavy with all the swords, I like it because it's very logical and pragmatic, straightforward and to the point. It's intelligent, it's smart. Usually it represents trying to see things clearly or trying to figure them out. It's about knowledge, right? Whether it's giving or receiving, so your mind could have an extra thirst. There could be a lot of things that you're trying to sort through and figure out. It's a very thirsty mind, which is a good thing. And then obviously with the swords, that could also represent communication or even lack thereof, depending. Now, the downside with swords energy is sometimes it could be a little too much in its mind, a little too much in its head. So watch out for thought loops, thought spirals, and stuff like that. Could be cold and detached as well. So I'm not sure if some of you are feeling that way about something where it's like, all right, I'm cold and detached from that, whatever it might be. But then when we get to the water, totally different. This is like matters of the heart, things that we're emotionally invested in, things that we care about. So the combination of like the heart and mind, heart and mind. You see this little yin yang that we've had since the very beginning where we're seeing this balance. Like your mind could be telling you one thing, your heart could be telling you another when there's a lot of water. Now, water does tie heavily into partnerships, connections, interpersonal, whether it's friends, family, or otherwise. Water is things that we care for. The only downside, and again, yes, it could be imaginative and creative. The only downside when it comes to the water is that it could be overwhelming. And especially with the surrounding cards, that's what I want to watch out for, any sort of mental or emotional overwhelm. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Seven of Swords. Now, this is not an inherently bad card, but it does always make me raise an eyebrow where it's like, okay, I'm keeping an eye on you. We see this little individual here. He's wearing his red fez and he is making away with those swords. Now, in the most optimistic way of looking at this card, it could just represent something that's not on your radar, something that hasn't happened yet, something that you don't know, something that's happening in the shadows. It's something where there's a lot of mystery, a lot of questions surrounding it. That's a big thing with this card in its positive sense. So, not every mystery is a bad mystery. However, the Seven of Swords can also be a warning about the trustworthiness of certain individuals, because this card can sometimes represent thieves, people with their own little motives and stuff like that, trust issues, all that kind of stuff. So this could absolutely be a warning when we look into the deeper aspects of it, or it could just be something that's not on the radar, right? All depends on your perspective, right? Because remember, this is just an energetic weather report. You're the creator of your experience. Perspective is everything. But moving to the middle, we do hit a little vibe switch. Yeah, we definitely, now for a lot of Virgos, there could be, big trips down memory lane trying to figure out things that have already happened, right? Because like when I see the Seven of Swords, it's like, something feels off here or something isn't sitting right with me. And then we move over to the Six of Cups. Now, this card could be of soul ties, soul connections, people that we care deeply for. Generally, this is a card of history, someone that we've known for a long time. If this isn't representing an individual, the Six of Cups could just represent memories. So again, there's like this soft tenderness. So for some Virgos, maybe you're a little more emotionally tender than you normally are in this time. Maybe you're a little more sentimental. This card doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's actually normally pretty good because notice that they're sharing cups with each other. But the downside of the Six of Cups is sometimes it could be an energy that's trapped in the past or thinking about bad memories and stuff like that. So just again, I'm not going to say what to do and what not to do. It's just the energy that's showing up here. Another thing with the Six of Cups, just like the reading we saw last week, it could be certain things popping back up. So whether it's looking into the past or the past coming back around to you, that could all be in play. Now, on the back end, we do have the Nine of Swords, and I would say this is one of those cards you don't really need to be an expert to understand what it means, right? See this individual up in bed, hands on the face, losing a little sleep. Now, this could be very simple, straightforward for some Virgos. Maybe you're not getting enough rest. Maybe you're burning the candle at both ends. Maybe you're just tired. That could be it. It doesn't always have to be the sky is falling. But to me, this can also represent the overthinking, the stress, the anxiety, just really wound tight. So, like, to me, this really reminds me with these cards, when like you're laying in bed and you can't shut your brain off? It's one of those. So, again, that could be someone else. But like the whole combination, it's like I'm thinking about things from grammar school. I'm thinking about things from years ago. Why are these memories coming up in my mind? The good thing about the Nine of Swords to me is that it can also represent energetic sensitivity in the good way, like intuition, trust in your gut. For some of you, maybe you need to ground your energy a little bit, especially if you're energetically sensitive, because this is like overstimulation. It could also represent paranormal experiences too. So if you're not prone to them or susceptible to them, you might be in the short term future. But I want to dive deeper on all this, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Seven of Swords. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Seven of Swords here for my friends? Why is it here, please? Okay. And didn't I mention the Two of Pentacles when that very first Oracle card came out? All right, this is absolutely like the intuition, like feeling something is off. The Two of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, oh, I feel something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Like, yeah, there's something that's not adding up here. There's just something that's not right. This could absolutely be a warning of some kind, and we do want to see how it plays out to really see what the severity is of it. But you know, sometimes when everything seems quiet, but a little too quiet, or everything seems normal and usual, but it's like I feel something and I can't quite put my finger on it. So whether it's something that's currently going on, whether it's something from the past, or you're looking back on things and it's like, oh, that didn't add up, or something doesn't add up. You might have a very skeptical mind on you in this time, where it's like there's a situation or something that just doesn't feel right, and I need to figure out why. There is like that thirst for information. Now, the Two of Pentacles, again, it's very similar to that Libra energy we picked up in the beginning, balancing, but it can absolutely, in reverse, represent someone that's like the overstimulation, right? Seven of Swords with the Two of Pentacles, it's like there's just so much going on. There could absolutely be a need for some grounding, energetic grounding. Now, again, if this isn't you, if everything's cool, if everything's peaches and cream, maybe this could be someone else and you're just feeling it through some sort of energetic cord, where like maybe someone else is going through a rough one and you're picking up on those vibes. But to me, it just feels like my intuition is telling me something isn't adding up. So we're going to keep moving. I don't want to turn it into a whole big thing, but that's just how it feels to me. We're going to go in on the Six of Cups. I really want to get over to that Nine of Swords too. So we already got a bit of a warning in the front. So why is that Six of Cups here for my Virgo friends? What is happening? And yeah, usually you Virgos are very good at like noticing details of things or pattern recognition, right? Like to me, that's kind of how this feels. Like something's not matching the pattern or something doesn't add up. Thank Okay. This could actually be really good. So we have the Page of Cups in the upright. This could be an emotional talk or conversation for a lot of Virgos. Just being having somebody to talk to about this thing, or like an outside perspective, could be really important. And maybe you're doing that for somebody else. But this could absolutely be like a very important or serious talk where it's like, hey, so and so, this happened, and this happened, and I don't know why it's not sitting right with me. Like that's how it feels. Like to me, it's like I'm letting someone else in and getting their perspective on it, especially with this unsure energy. So again, whether you're doing that for somebody else or someone else is doing that for you. Remember, pages are messengers. Usually they're a fresh, new type of energy. The Page of Cups in particular is about speaking of emotion, letting things out. So when I see it with the Six of Cups, this is actually really good. Now, for some of you, if this is a soul tie, soul connection, this could be a reuniting, just like we saw last week. The energy's still showing up, where you might hear from someone you haven't heard from in a while, or you might talk about the past with somebody, reminiscing, like, hey, do you remember 10 years ago when this happened? Or you remember 5 years ago when that happened? There's a lot of sharing of memories going on here. But aside from that, to me, it's getting another person's perspective, to see, if to see if your feelings about it are right. That's super very specific. So again, this could be someone coming to you and saying, hey Virgo, this is the situation, this is what happened, these are the details I know, what do you think about that? It's like advice, right? And it could be a serious or an important talk, because that could settle things, hopefully. Let's go in on the Nine of Swords. A lot of that seems just far too hyper specific. So again, just take whatever hits for you, my friends. there could be a good talk. If we're casting a wide net, Six of Cups, Page of Cups, could be a talk that makes you feel better, venting, right? So what's going on the Nine of Swords? Or maybe that's what's necessary, especially with all this wound up type of vibe. Yeah, if you are the energetically sensitive type, especially with the Six of Cups here, and now we have the Lovers right here. To me, it's like the energy I'm feeling isn't just mine. And remember, lovers aren't always just romantic partners. It's another card of soul ties, soul connections, just someone that we share a very deep bond with. And it is my personal opinion and belief that when we form bonds with people, friends, family, or otherwise, there is an energetic exchange that happens. Like, even if the person isn't face to face in front of us, when there is a bond, a mutual bond, there's an energetic exchange. So the Nine of Swords, Lovers in the upright, tells me that, like, hey, some of these things you might be feeling could be coming from somebody else. It's like this other energy is coming in, and you might be tapping into it even if you don't realize you are. Again, very hyper specific. Now, for another portion of you, when I see the Nine of Swords with the Lovers, there could absolutely be somebody that is really, really wound tight, anxious, nervous, right? We've been seeing that. There is this energy. There is also this energy that seems to be able to solve it. But I do feel like there could be someone that's like stressed, anxious, nervous, especially with the Lovers in the upright under the Nine of Swords. And you might be picking up on the residual feedback of that. So interesting stuff. A lot of specifics. So again, only take what hits. You can watch your other alignments and stuff like that. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the. We'll do a quick overview, then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we got the Seven of Swords with the Two of Pentacles in reverse underneath it. Yeah, this is just like feeling like something isn't adding up, something's off. I do feel like it could be a warning because I don't want to say it's suspicious, but it just feels like I can't put my finger on it. Something's not adding up. So there could be certain things that are catching your eye like that. Moving to the middle, we do have like this really important, serious talk potentially. There could be advice being given. There could be a reuniting potentially. But to me, it's like getting someone else's perspective on how they feel about something or what they think, just to see if this energy is in line. So I know, very specific. We do have the wound up energy that we've been seeing since the beginning. Nine of Swords with the Lovers in the upright. So this could be someone else. Doesn't have to be emanating from you. Maybe someone you care about is going through a bit of a difficult time. But there is that that under the surface energetic exchange that, like, if you are feeling a little on edge or comfortable, it could be generated elsewhere. And you're just tapping into it, even if you're not trying. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Virgo? What do we got? Cool. The Lovers again. The Lovers again. So the same card that we just pulled here. Now, the Lovers does connect to Gemini energy. Not sure if you're connected to Gemini. Usually like it. It has the Archangel Raphael. We already spoke about it. Soul ties, soul connections, people, individuals that are very, very important to us. So just know, with the Six of Cups, the Lovers here, the Lovers again, there's like a very prominent energy of another individual that's showing up in your reading this week. I don't know why. So again, like, all this energy doesn't feel like it's necessarily emanating from you, because the shadow side of the Lovers, it represents unhealed wounds, right? Because Archangel Raphael represents healing. He's the Archangel of healing. So it either represents unhealed wounds, things that are still with us. And again, there's no timetable on healing. But another thing with this card, it's either not on the same vibrational frequency with something or someone you're connected to that's going through a rough one. And that seems to be a big theme we're seeing this week. So partnerships, very important. Other people's soul ties, very, very important. We're going to leave it at that, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.